Alright, we are up in the attic getting ready to put this 5000 in. We're going to go from this little 1-inch filter. Of course, we all know what a 1-inch filter rack looks like, but you see I put tape on the door to try to keep the heat out of it. Little 1-inch. See how this thing moves around? The light up is better so we can see. But see how the 1-inch filter just moves around in there? That goes back to my video about should I buy that expensive filter from Home Depot. This is why. We're going to take this return, put them off here, and we'll put the new box on, and we'll get some shots of it. Alright, so I got the return box off. Here's the instructions. The owner's manual, and the installation instructions. Don't know why it's in the 2 owner's manuals. Alright, so here we've just pulled the AprilAire 5000 out of the box. I'm going to take the cover off. I'm going to put that in there for safekeeping. And open it up. That's what you get. Of course, you get your fin combs. This is a fan timer. It brings the fan on. And then it's got your filter and your... I don't know what's in there, but we'll figure it out. It's been a while since I put one of these in. And then you have your box. Now when you put one of these in, if you haven't ever put one in, there is a little, if you look inside there, see the sticker with the airflow? That airflow has got to go towards the furnace. If it doesn't, filter sleeve is going to be backwards. And even on the filter sleeve, it's got an airflow indicator with the arrow there. So I have seen this, believe it or not, I have seen these installed backwards, and they're not doing their job if they're installed backwards. So anyway, we're going to go up there and get this thing put in. What we'll do is when we get it installed, we're going to put mastic all in the inside. So we're going to get started. This is the most important part of the job right here, because if somebody's spending the money on putting a good air cleaner in and you don't seal it up, then you're shortchanging the customer, and that ain't cool. So and if you do it from the inside, then you know that it's all sealed up now, because how are you going to get to the bottom if you don't seal it from the inside? So this is the most important part of the whole job. And then by the time we get done, this will be dry. So when we turn it on, it's not going to stink the house up or make the house smell like mastic or whatever. So I'm going to do this and get on to the next part, which the next part will be wiring everything up as far as the outlet and that kind of stuff. Alright, as you can see, I got it all sealed up with mastic, and I made use of the old filter rack, because the old filter rack had a flange on it, and I was able to screw the return to the new AprilAire air cleaner. Was able to screw that return box to the flange of the AprilAire right here. I originally was going to take the old filter rack off, but then I said, self, you're overcomplicating it. That flange is there, you could use it, so just go ahead and use it. So I decided to follow my advice and use it, and it worked out perfect. So now I've got this kind of gap right there to where the screws of the burner compartment divider is. That's kind of got it pushed off, so I got some spray adhesive on the top there. Sorry about that. And got spray adhesive on there. I'm just letting it get tacky so I can take that off. Even though it's sealed on the inside, this way it won't look like there's just a big gap there. And I don't want to use mastic on the outside, because I'll get it all over me. And I've already got it all over me already. Alright, so I got my outlet in place. The AprilAire air cleaner needs a outlet, but you can't just hook. I've seen this thing installed many different ways. I've seen it to where the installer had cut the cord and wire nutted it to the main power coming into the furnace. And if you do that without your fan running all the time, you're going to build up an excessive amount of ozone. So the fan has to be running while this thing is on. So all I did was just took this black wire and this yellow wire to strand it, and then I'll use the blue right here for ground. And I just took the black, made it my hot wire, took it over to the circuit board, and plugged it onto the EAC terminal. And then my yellow wire, I'm using it for neutral, and I just took it and put a spade terminal on it and hooked it to the neutral side on the circuit board. Right there, and then up there the EAC terminal. And then so now I'm getting ready to mount the fan control timer, and it comes right there. This is the mount. It actually mounts right. Get the light over here. Mounts right there where those 2 screw holes are right there. Then the actual fan control timer will mount. We'll just slide onto it. So I'm gonna get that stuff mounted. It's hard. It's dark up here, so can't really see that well. So I'm doing the best I can. All right, so I've got my mount mounted in place. You can see I've got it wired up right there. Red comes from the transformer off the circuit board. The blue comes from the common off the circuit board. The green actually comes, or actually that white actually comes from the fan on the thermostat. It comes, the green from the thermostat comes off the board. It wire nuts to this white wire, and then green sends a signal back to the circuit board in order to bring the fan on, because its controller will control the fan a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and mount this in place. Once I get that wire right there connected to that control board, then we'll just slide it in place and it'll be ready to go. Here in a minute, after I mount this, we're going to go outside and put the filter air cleaner together. Case installed. We have the wiring installed. Now we're fixing to put the case, the sleeve, we're fixing to put it together. So let's get it taken apart. All you gotta do when you get it is you just do like that. Take your ionizer frame off. See, it has wires right there. And when you clean these, do not wash them, because what will happen is these little wire connectors that slide into this piece of plastic, they will rust. And when they rust, that wire will break. And when that wire breaks, it won't work anymore until you replace the wires. The wires are available, but you got to buy a bunch of them in order to get one. So what I do when I go to somebody's house and clean this is I just take my fingers and I clean that wire with my fingers, just like that. And you'll get that stuff off there. And in the screen, I just take a brush and I just sweep it off real good. But you do not wash it. This you could wash, but you would have to let it dry really, really good. So don't ever wash that. And then take the tape off. And you push in right there, push in right there, take the filter out of the case there. And then what you do is that filter, take those little clips, be careful because you can break a little plastic nipple thing off of there. Alright, if you notice, this filter is a white medium. I think there's 44 square foot of filter material here. And it's got a metal coating on the back side of it. So what you do, if you notice there's a clip right here where my finger is. Well, this filter, see it right there? Well, this filter actually, spread it out like that. Filter actually has a hole where that clip fits into, like that. You take that and you fold it over like that, and you come down on the other side, you go to the other side, do the other side, you take it and you close it back, same thing. But if you notice right here, this little screen right here, that what that does is it makes contact with that the coating on the filter. So then what you do is you kind of get these combs are kind of a pain, or they can be a pain, because it starts giving you kind of double vision. But once you get used to it, we missed that one right there at the end. Alright, you just go across there like that, do it again, and you mount, you get your first one mounted, it just clips right in these little slots right there. Then you get your next one, that, all the way through to the end. The first one's always the hardest one to do. Make sure you hear the click. Put it on there. And then flip it over like that. You take your ionizing frame and you see it's got that little thing right there. And that tells you how this gets put in place. And that's it. That's how you put a AprilAire 5000 filter media in place. Pick your trash up, put it in your box. We're almost done with this. Alright, so we've got the filter, the media. It's not really a filter, it is a media. We've got it in place. See, right there. Slid it in. And what we do here is, get my cord out of the way. And that's it. That's in. Now what we do there is now we just plug it in. So now it's plugged in, and then we'll find the door. And in here we'll test it out here in a second. Okay. Alright, so I got everything done. Everything's put on. And now I'm just checking it. So we have different settings. We have constant clean, automatic, which comes on every 30 minutes out of every hour. And then we have a 3-hour cycle. we have a 24-hour cycle for allergies, and then the bottom button there is filter reset. Now let's do constant clean. Alright, check that out. So the lights are flashing, means it's working. Now if I turn it off, let's see what happens. Alright, so it's actually turned off, but this thing still knows that the fan is running. So it's so the blue light is on, that means it's on. So as long as the fan is running, these lights are going. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to leave it on a 30-minute cycle. And if he wants it to run longer than that, he can run the fan in the on position.